What's up, YouTube? It's Ask the Young One with CreateHigherVibrations.com. Thought I'd throw in a nice little jump in there for you guys, the whole 41 viewers that might watch this video. But anyway, that's another story. So today I wanted to post a video and talk a little bit about people that are, and mainly this probably is for divorces, or if you are not married and have kids and you got to go through it, but really about divorces, because generally if you're in a relationship with one of these people, yeah, you've been through the abuse, but you don't really have anything tying you to them contractually, since that's what marriage is in most countries, at least in the United States. You go get a license and now you're in a contract with this person and the state that you are in. So then you have to go through the state to then divvy up things, and the state will have a benefit in how those things are divvied up, especially if you have kids. Chances are, from my experience with a lot of people, I mean, it can go either way, I guess, but chances are one person's going to get full custody of the children because it benefits the state that way. By having child support orders written, then the states make money. Anyway, that's another video in itself, so that's not really the topic of this video. This video is about knowing what you're dealing with before you go into it, and then finding out what you're dealing with as you're going through it. And I know for me, I looked at a million different things that could have been wrong, but I was also in the mindset of what is going on so I can fix, I can fix it, so that this could be fixed, so that people could figure out what needed to be done to fulfill and create a happy marriage again, yada yada. Not knowing that I was dealing with someone who for a very long time was already planning and plotting and was a million steps ahead of me on how they were going to win and how they were going to do everything they were going to do. So in the meantime, when you don't know this, and you're fighting for this illusion, this fake marriage, like you're fighting for it in your head, and you're trying, like you're doing everything possible. If you're codependent, you become even more codependent. If you're a people pleaser, you become even more people pleasing, because you're trying to figure out what is going on. But in the meantime, they're just trying to destroy you to build evidence, and then everything that you've ever went through or experienced with this person, and at that time they had your back, and you never would have in a million years thought they would try to use these things. And then you're going through the divorce, and then they're just hitting you and hammering you with everything possible that they can, so that they can win, because they don't care. They don't care how much they hurt you. They don't care. Like, we can say this a million times. They have no conscience. They will hurt anyone that they need to win and to protect themselves and their image of who they are. So enough of that. But so when you go through it, when you're going through it and you don't know what you're dealing with, it's going to be, I guess what I'm seeing now, and I thought maybe I was like the only one that experienced this, because I didn't know exactly what I knew shit wasn't right, and I knew that people aren't married this long, then all of a sudden, I knew something wasn't right, but I also thought it had to do with other things like childbirth and different things. So I was looking in a whole different direction, more trying to figure out how to help this person, and not knowing that I was dealing with someone that just flat out didn't care whether I was dead or alive, and would have done anything to beat me. But so what I'm saying is that when you're going through it and you don't know what you're dealing with, you're going to be extremely, extremely unprepared, and it's really like the worst, absolute worst time to try to figure out what you're dealing with, or to even have the aha moments, because then you're hit with the emotional part of it, if you're already emotional, but it gets even deeper when you realize the person you were with is behind your back and has been behind your back, plotting and planning to destroy you, or trying to, or to take your kids away from you, or whatever it may be. And so I think what I'm seeing, like for me, like literally it was like that. And then you had to figure out what it was that you were dealing with. And then by the time that, by the time all this had passed, like once someone takes your kids because they're a narcissist and they lied and manipulated a system and used a system to abuse you, through protective orders and through manipulation and lies and lying and lying, and then all of a sudden you got this image of somebody that you're not even that person, but yet this whole court system thinks that you are, because you weren't prepared to go against it. You weren't prepared for divorcing someone that is capable of pathological lying, as if it is telling someone how beautiful the day is. Like, you were not prepared for that. And it's devastating. And I'm seeing it more and more. It devastated me. I lost everything I had. My home, my cars, my business. I lost everything. And so I got thrown into a life I didn't know how to live. Pretty much. That was pretty much it. So I had to go and dig very, very deep into myself. Very deep. Meditation and studying Buddhism. And for the ones that want to throw the whole Bible verses out there, that's fine. I understand who God is. And I know there's God, and I know Buddha is not a God, and Buddha never wanted to be a God. It's the psychological understanding of the teachings. And so that helped me tremendously to understand my own mind, to understand what I was actually experiencing. And in a lot of ways, it's been, for the soul's growth, for the awakening, for the consciousness, it's been great. For the third dimensional world, where you need certain things in order to function in this world, it's been very, very difficult. And so I'm seeing how that happens to a lot of other people, and knowing that I wasn't prepared for it, therefore I didn't know how to go into it. And I was going into it from a whole different perspective, and a whole different, it was just wicked how that worked. But I'm seeing more and more people who are discussing how they've lost everything because they're not knowing what they're dealing with until it's too late. And so really my point with this video is, if you know someone that's about to go through it and they're still in denial about what they're dealing with, you need to really help that person start to understand before they get themselves in the middle of a very psychopathic court system that truly does not give a shit about you or the narcissist or your kids or anyone else involved. Before you get yourself in front of those people and dealing with those people, you have to know what you're dealing with on the front end at the beginning. And I have a client, and we were talking about this over text, because when you work with me and we do one-on-one coaching, then you get to text me through WhatsApp in the interims, in the meantime, if something comes up, or need some support in the middle of between sessions, whatever. But you get the opportunity whenever we work together one-on-one, and it really helps because a lot of shit comes up for people, and and it's good to have that support of someone that understands what you're going through or what you're about to go through. And so we were having this talk over WhatsApp, and it was kind of like something I was realizing with her, and really since we started, it was about she needs to get out. Well, but at the same time, and we know, I know this is kind of this situation. So I know certain situations are a lot different, and some narcissists are a lot different. It's all different. This is specific to this, and it can be, because not all narcissists are going to physically attack you. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of them don't, because they do. But in this specific situation, one thing that has been tremendously helpful is her awareness is through the roof. Like, her awareness is amazing, and she knows what she's dealing with, and she knows exactly who this person is. She knows he's not the person she married. She knows these things. She knows that he's a narcissist. And so whenever this process does begin, it's like she's been preparing for it. And it's like, so when this process begins, she knows exactly what she's dealing with, so she knows exactly what they're going to do. And so it's kind of reversing it, whereas for me, I didn't know what I was dealing with when I was going through it. It was super hard to ever fathom that people were even like this, and then of course once you go through it, you start to become aware, and your consciousness starts to rise with each time you heal something, and you go up and up and up. You start to begin to see the world for what it is, and then you see exactly just how deep this problem is in our society. And that's, again, another video, but this is like, you have to be prepared when you're going into a war with these people, or else you're going to constantly be getting dealt shit that you're not gonna as a human, as a empath, or as a person of heart, you're not necessarily gonna. It's really hard to believe how crazy some of the shit these people do. And not only that, but they get away with it. It's like the society is so much like them. Like, a lot of, like, it's like you have to find people that will see through these people. It's amazing. Now, I'm not saying there isn't people, but there are a lot of people that see through them. But for some reason, they still don't always, it seems like a lot of people lose, and it's sad. It's really sad, because no one that experiences this deserves that. So what I was saying is, now that she's prepared for it, like, she knows what's going to happen. And I think, so I wanted to make this video and just kind of reach out for people that may have experienced this. If you have, like, if you were blindsided as you went through the process, if you could maybe leave a comment and how you overcame it, or what what happened, because I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that we don't even know about that are experiencing this, and they don't know what to do. And then a lot of people out there, again, are being thrown into the life they don't know how to live. Like, it's not easy, and this is going to happen also. Even if you know what you're dealing with, you're still going into a life that you aren't necessarily used to living or have lived. But at least if you you can kind of transition into it as you're going, rather than all of a sudden you're there, and then everything is just blows up in your face, and you end up losing everything. It's especially if when you lose it, and then life goes on so great. They got your kids, you don't have a home no more, you don't have an income no more, and that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. And then not only that, but you're emotionally in a place that probably isn't good for a lot of jobs. I don't know. I'm not sure how people deal with that. I just know a lot of people lose a lot of things because they're not sure what they're dealing with when they go into these situations. And so I wanted to make this video and just kind of put it out there. If you know someone that could be experiencing this and they're about to go into it but they're in denial, let them know, that, like, share this with them, talk to them, try to get them to see, and be a little bit, we have to stop being nice with these people. Like, you cannot be nice to them. You cannot go into it with the same perception of them as if they were this nice person before, and that's who they are. That's not who they are. Absolutely not. And if you go into it with that perception, you're going to learn real quick, and it's going to be too late. And it's going to either cost you a shit ton of money, or you're going to lose it. And then it probably will still cost you a shit ton of money. But either way, if you know someone that's experiencing it like that, or if you've experienced it like that, if you could leave a comment or something down below, talk about your experience. I'd like to hear it and see what other people experienced. I know the road for me afterwards it's been wild. Like, I've had really beautiful things happen. But then at the same time, there's been this really struggle with money. And then it's kind of, just how it's led me in my path. Like, I have a daughter that I think about constantly, but I don't get to see her as much, or it's led me like farther away from her because I didn't have, it was like, it's just how it's worked out. But if things would have been, if I was more prepared, it might not have worked out like that. I don't know. And maybe it's working out for the best. I mean, I'm assuming that the universe, God, as God is in me, man is God, God is man. So the God in me is watching my back, and it's really working for the best at this moment, because in this moment it's all we have. And so therefore it's allowing time to really learn how to live that life I didn't know how to live. And so, if this helps people, then I hope it helps. The biggest thing is it sucks to go through it this way, and if you can avoid it, then by just hearing this and creating that thought to maybe go look into something a little more, or re-question your attorney a little more if they're not listening to you. Re-question whether or not you have an attorney that's going to go to war or fight for you against a manipulator, and be able to recognize them. A lot of different things that can happen when you are prepared and knowing what you're dealing with, compared to when you don't know what you're dealing with. If you don't know, you don't know, and it sucks. It really does. And so my heart's out there for you. If it just, I feel for anyone that didn't know what they were dealing with when they went into these situations. And so I hope this video helps and touches, a little bit for people. I'll go because I'll probably start rambling. But, if for some reason you want to do the one-on-one coaching, I do get way, way deeper into things rather than in these videos. But I know the coaching is super beneficial for the client that's preparing herself. It's been super helpful for her. The WhatsApping, and then the session is extremely beneficial. So you can visit the website, or you can email me. I'll put all that in the description. And again, leave your comments. If you haven't, like, subscribe. We try to keep it as authentic as we can. Just channel it as we go and then post it. So with that being said, I will go for now. Namaste.